Chapter 2375, How Strong Is He? Published by Divine Tao Library. Translator, Salavan and Rykov. Translation checker, Pew Pew Lasergun. Editor and proofreader, Leo of Zion Mountain and Dale Ligerkeys. When he saw Yang Kai's cold face and eyes, Yang Yaoshi's body was covered in chills. He had the vague feeling that he seemed to have provoked someone he never should have, and his heart was filled with regret. Even if he escaped his current predicament, he would not be able to explain this huge loss to the Pavilion Master and would have to bear the Pavilion Master's wrath. Tell me, should I kill you with one quick thrust, or should I slowly stab you to death? A wicked smile bloomed on Yang Kai's face. Yang Yaoshi trembled all over and said in fear, "You can't kill me. I'm the Vice Pavilion Master of Profound Cloud Pavilion. I am Sir Mi Tianxing's subordinate. If you kill me, he will definitely not let you go." Mi Tianxing, Yang Kai said in a cold voice, "That First Order Emperor Realm Master sheltering you." "That's right. The Pavilion Master is very fond of me," Yang Yaoshi quickly added, thinking that Yang Kai knew of Mi Tianxing's reputation. But unexpectedly, Yang Kai showed a disdainful expression and curled his lip. "What thing is a First Order Emperor Realm cultivator to me? This young master has killed more than one before." When he heard this, Yang Yaoshi's first reaction was that this guy must be talking nonsense. Was it that easy to kill a First Order Emperor Realm Master? What's more, the one speaking was just a Third Order Dao Source Realm cultivator. It was ridiculous no matter how one thought about it. But he didn't dare to retort and only said, "Let me go and I can give you many benefits, but if you kill me, you'll definitely have a hard time in Clear Sky Island." Yang Kai's face turned cold, still daring to threaten me at death's door. "I'm just speaking the truth. What's more, it's not easy for you to kill me with your current ability anyway. Instead of fighting a fight that will only end in both sides suffering, why don't we sit down and discuss things properly?" Yang Kai sneered. A discussion would still require both sides to be on equal ground. "I can take your life with a snap of my fingers. What rights do you have to bargain with me? Don't underestimate this king. Even a broken ship has 3 kilograms of nails." "You think too highly of yourself," Yang Kai scoffed and brought the myriad sword in his hand directly down onto Yang Yaoshi. Yang Yaoshi paled in horror. He did not expect this young man to take action directly despite how hard he tried to persuade him. Instantly, Yang Yaoshi felt both angry and anxious. No longer hesitating, he summoned a shield artifact directly in front of him. "Sealer." A crisp sound rang out as Yang Yaoshi was shocked to find that this shield artifact actually shattered without offering him any protection, shattering the moment his opponent's sword slashed down. The Emperor artifact's power cut straight into his body, severing him in half. Is he really human? Even in death, Yang Yaoshi could not believe that he, a Third Order Dao Source Realm cultivator, would actually be killed so casually by another in the same realm. If he had known how great the difference in their strength was, how could he possibly have remained here? He would have tried to escape, and at least there would be some hope for his survival. The deck was soon empty, except for the corpses all over the floor. Yang Kai was the only one left standing. Even Lu Xianyun and Zhao Yi had run off to chase their fleeing enemies. Yang Kai raised his hand and sucked over the space rings of all the dead cultivators. After a quick inspection, he threw them to the ground again in disgust. These cultivators must have been living here in the solitary void-sealed world for a long time. There were a bunch of random things in their rings, but none of them were really useful. With Yang Kai's current wealth, these things simply weren't enough to enter his eyes. Yang Yaoshi's shield artifact was something barely able to catch his eye, but after being split apart by the myriad sword, it had become worthless. Yang Kai ignored the space rings of these people and instead turned his attention to the huge sea ship. This sea ship was sailed here by Yang Yaoshi and his crew. Within the solitary void-sealed world, it was very common to go to sea using large artifacts like these, so Yang Kai figured he may need to head out to sea in the future, and this was the perfect opportunity to acquire a means of transport. Flying to the opposite sea ship and entering the cabin, Yang Kai searched for the control center and began to refine it. After about the time it took to finish a cup of tea, Ling Yin-chin and the others all returned from different directions. Save for a few injured members, the dozen members of the crew returned safe and sound. Once all of them gathered and exchanged information about their situation with each other, Ling Yin-chin couldn't help but breathe out a sigh of relief. Not one of the Profound Cloud Pavilion cultivators managed to escape. They were all hunted down and killed, so there was no need for them to worry about news of what happened here spreading back to Clear Sky Island. Profound Cloud Pavilion would not suspect Ling Yin-chin and her crew for Yang Yaoshi and his crew's sudden disappearance on their trip out to the solitary Void Sea, and even if they did, they had no proof, so she didn't need to worry about anything. After calming herself, Ling Yin-chin suddenly remembered something and, with the same level of fear as if she had just gone to hell and back, she quickly ordered the crew to clean up the deck and push the corpses down into the sea. When she released her divine sense and found that Yang Kai was refining the Profound Cloud Pavilion's ship, she didn't bother him. Instead, she pulled Lu Xianyun to the side and asked quietly, "What actually happened to your senior brother?" If not for Yang Kai, they probably would not have encountered such a crisis. But similarly, without him here, they would definitely have had their whole harvest robbed by Yang Yaoshi and been forced to return empty-handed. So, on balance, Ling Yin-chin still felt grateful to Yang Kai. However, she was extremely confused as to how Yang Kai was able to bring out such a terrifying level of strength, easily killing almost 30 people from Profound Cloud Pavilion by himself. Only someone in the Emperor realm should be able to do something like this. If such a powerful force were to be turned against her and her ship, then who would be able to resist? Ling Yin-chin was feeling more and more glad that she had stopped Zhao Yi and the others from acting on their greedy impulses, otherwise, she was afraid that they may not even know how they ended up dead. Even though her question was vague, Lu Xianyun could guess what she was trying to ask. Pondering for a moment, she explained, "Senior brother is an extraordinary person to begin with. A few days ago, we were chased down by a third-order Emperor Realm Master but still managed to escape thanks to senior brother." You were chased down by a third-order Emperor Realm Master and still managed to come out alive? Ling Yin-chin was shocked. She had never experienced how strong a third-order Emperor Realm Master was, but she knew a third-order Dao Source Realm Cultivator couldn't escape alive from their grasp. But Yang Kai managed to do just this. That proved that he was no ordinary third-order Dao Source Realm Cultivator. Senior brother is amazing, he even managed to injure that third-order Emperor Realm Master. Lu Xianyun did not seem to think Ling Yin-chin was shocked enough, so she added, "Injured him." Ling Yin-chin was completely dumbfounded. It felt as if her brain was freezing, unable to process everything. What she heard was completely beyond her comprehension. It was a sneak attack, and it seemed like that third-order Emperor Realm Master was injured to begin with. Despite Lu Xianyun's explanation, Ling Yin-chin's mind was still buzzing. She couldn't take in what she was saying at all and found herself staring at the sea ship opposite her, remaining silent for a long time. "Big sister, they have a lot of good things. That Yang Yaoshi actually brought more than 200,000 source crystals with him. We're rich." Zhao Yi walked over with a happy look on his face as he handed a space ring to Ling Yin-chin. Only then did Ling Yin-chin return to her senses. "Divide up the stuff amongst yourselves, but throw away all the artifacts and other recognizable objects. You must not bring them back to Clear Sky Island. If they brought back any of the artifacts or anything that could be recognized, then it may reveal something and get the people of Profound Cloud Pavilion on their trail." Ling Yin-chin could not allow that to happen. Even though Zhao Yi thought it was a waste, he knew that Big Sister was right. He instantly agreed and turned around, ready to set off to divide up the wealth with his brothers. The deck was scrubbed clean, and all the corpses were dumped into the sea while all the blood was washed away. Since Yang Kai had yet to come out, Ling Yin-chin could only wait now. About a day later, the ship on the other side suddenly buzzed and the hull began to shake. In the next moment, there was a flash of light and the huge ship disappeared without a trace. In its place was Yang Kai, who appeared in the view of the crowd. He looked drained at the moment and his face was slightly pale, but on his palm was an exquisite sea ship that had shrunk countless times in size. It was clearly the one from Profound Cloud Pavilion. So quick. Even though Ling Yin-chin already knew about Yang Kai's strength, she could not help but be astonished. It took Yang Kai only one day to refine the ship's controls. If someone else were to tell her about this, she would not have believed it, but it happened right in front of her, so she had to believe it. How strong is he? Ling Yin-chin already thought very highly of Yang Kai, but it seemed she had still underestimated him. Even if an Emperor Realm Master were here, it would still be impossible for them to refine the sea ship in just one day. Ling Yin-chin had thought she and her crew would have to wait here for a month or two for Yang Kai to finish. While she was lost in thought, Yang Kai had already sent the ship into his space ring before he teleported back to the deck. The dozen crew members looked at him with awe, while Zhao Yi opened his mouth as if he wanted to say something, but couldn't muster any words. With the strength Yang Kai had shown yesterday, Zhao Yi no longer had the confidence to call Yang Kai his brother. "I apologize for the trouble I brought everyone," Yang Kai said with some embarrassment. He knew that the reason why the people of Profound Cloud Pavilion found Ling Yin-chin and the others here was most likely because of Zhang Ruozai's breakthrough. If not for that great disturbance, how could two sea ships meet each other so coincidentally in the middle of this vast ocean? Therefore, the cause of the matter was still Yang Kai. When they heard him say this, the crew members all waved their hands and shook their heads. What a joke! The Profound Cloud Pavilion crew was slaughtered by Yang Kai in the blink of an eye, which showed how terrifying Yang Kai's strength was. They did not dare to take his polite words seriously. Looking at him, Yang Kai knew that these people were likely afraid of him. Brother Yang, we should be the ones thanking you. You saved us from a disaster, Ling Yin-chin said. Yang Kai had a very good impression of this woman. Previously, she offered to hand over all their gains from this trip in exchange for the safety of Lu Xianyun and him. Yang Kai watched that scene with his own eyes. It was just a pity that Yang Yaoshi did not take the offer. He was too greedy and had to send himself up onto the platter no matter what. Not at all, big sister Ling. I was the cause of all this to begin with, Yang Kai said awkwardly. He had no idea how he should explain to Ling Yin-chin about what happened before, and it wasn't easy to explain either, so he could only say it in such a vague way. How's your current situation? Ling Yin-chin asked with furrowed brows. Yang Kai failed his breakthrough and cut off his cultivation, but he still got caught in a large battle, even spending so much of his energy to refine the sea ship. In her opinion, this was simply courting death. You should take a rest.